This episode is brought to you by basketball. Basketball, it's a sport. Basketball. Right. So John, you just spent an ungodly amount of time doing a bunch of math to tabulate the final count of who is making the cut for the 2022 SWTVC March Madness bracket.
I'll just say we both did so much homework this past weekend. I feel like Rose Tico during the events of The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Missed out on the adventure.
Yeah.
Oh man. Do we get college credit for this?
I don't know. I hope.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So I have a brief idea of some things that are gonna maybe appear on this, but overall, listeners out there, John did the final tally. I only helped him get the data for about, I don't know, a third or half of the lists.
It's about half. Yeah.
So I don't know where these are. This is the first time I'm hearing it. He literally just finished it like 15 minutes ago. We're recording this fresh. Yeah, so you guys are going to get some real-time reactions, maybe some oohs, some ahs, some gasps, and some reallys. We'll see how that all goes.
There are quite a few of those on my end, as I was mostly in my head, though. I don't want to be too... I'm going a little bit insane from all the number crunching.
Yeah.
But it was still, mostly internal.
I'm curious, not to give anything away, but there are two characters in particular that I can think of, and I'm curious if they made the bracket this time around.
Okay,
one of them was... Snoop Dogg. Did he make the bracket? Someone submitted Snoop Dogg. How many points?
He did not. He had, I believe, that's on another list. He had like 1 point. What was that about? Was that for, because there was like a skit of him or something dressed as a Mandalorian?
I assume that's what it was.
I don't know what that was about, yeah.
It made more sense to me than my other question, which was Mike Zero.
He did not make the brackets.
Sorry, Mike.
I'm sure he predicted that he would, though. So
yeah. In his own heart, he's a winner. So there you go. All right. So where do you want to go ahead and start with this, John? Do we want to talk about the methodology of, a little recap of the top 25s that we ran in January? So get folks up to speed on that.
Sure. So in January 1st, you might even say, we put out the call on Instagram at SWTVC, as well as in the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Facebook group on Facebook, as well as in the French component of the Facebook group. I'm not exactly sure which group that was, as well as on banthaskull.com and JediTempleArchives.com. Did I get them all?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so those are the places that hosted lists. Some of them joined later, which was cool to see. And we had a lot of help getting the word out from other folks in the community, including, Victoria's Cantina, Bosk's Bounty, Yak Face,
Forlom de Zuckus.
From Forlom de Zuckus, for LOM de Zuckus, if you will. Yeah, so plenty of people got the word out, and we thank you to all of them, and thank you to those who hosted it as well.
Yes, so thank you.
We asked readers, whichever website you use, to rank their top 25 most wanted all new vintage collection figures. Not many repaints. We did get some repaints on here, but we'll get into it.
We tried to make the instructions fairly clear.
Yes, and then we got to have discussions later on what some of this meant, and if we got to learn a lot about some very obscure Legends characters from 40 years ago, which I had never heard of before, and I will never hear about again until we do this next year.
I was going to say, I learned some new Star Wars characters throughout this. In fact, there was maybe one that I think it must have been a typo, because when I typed in the character into Wikipedia, nothing came up. I was like, no way.
Who was that?
I don't, it started with a G. The character, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I ended up finding a character name that looked just like it, so I assumed it was the same character.
If we really messed your votes up, let us know, but I don't think we did.
Yeah, I think that was only worth a couple points anyway. But yeah, John, if you want to get into the weight of the points.
Yes, so we asked you to submit your top 25 lists. Your number one most wanted figure on your list, character, got 25 points. Second got 24. On down the line till your number 25 most wanted figure received 1 point in the tallying. So we added all of them up in a big old stew. And And the results will be used over the next few days to build the bracket. And that's what we're here to discuss today, the top 64 figures that resulted from all of this data. So on your lists, so on your outline, you asked, how does it compare to last year? Last year, we got about 125-ish lists we only hosted on Instagram and the Facebook group last year, I believe. So we got about
our reach was much smaller last year as well, too.
Yes. And so this year we got closer to 435-ish lists, somewhere in that neighborhood. Some of them were, things we had to kind of say, okay, didn't quite follow the rules. You're asking for a lot of multi-packs. You're asking for a lot of Jabba's Palace aliens, generic. Okay, I'm not going to go through every single one and, split the points, but that's okay. So around the neighborhood of 435 good usable lists that we were able to incorporate. So that was a lot of data to go through.
Yeah, it may not necessarily sound like a ton. I mean, it sounds like a lot. But if it doesn't sound like a ton, think about it where it's like averaging 25 times 430. It's a ton of unique data points that we then had to distill all the variants of spelling and what you meant and, what they are, where they go, media property, which version, and figuring out how that all comes together.
Some of these, now that I have the list up again, somebody was asking for young General Maydeen. I don't know. Did he appear somewhere pre-beard or something? There's a character named Major Anjin that I've never heard of. I don't know where that's from. Wikipedia was pulling a lot of duty on this.
Yeah, Wikipedia. This episode is brought to you also by Wikipedia. I don't know anything about Star Wars. Wikipedia, thank you.
That's when I think I know entirely too much. Somebody will throw out a Silgal, and then I got to look up what the hell that character even is.
Silgal is from...
something to do with Jarek.
Really?
No, something from the New Jedi Order.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, New Jedi Order, because I'm actually listening to the audiobooks of those right now.
All right. Well, I pronounced it like the audiobook guy, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you did. Either that or neither of us know how to actually pronounce it. So, totally
also very possible, yeah. So that's how we got the numbers that we got.
Cool. And, I don't know if you want to get into it too much. It's just kind of thinking about it where it's kind of like a focus group, essentially, kind of using this, like the amount. So that's 430 data points. It's not, we talked about this last year too, when doing the rounds, talking about it, where it's not all of the community. Obviously there's not tens of couple tens of thousands of people and tens of thousands of lists. If there were, we'd probably have to hire a full-time team to go through it all.
Yeah.
But just kind of with the methodology of how focus groups work, this is an excellent sampling of this community overall, especially from varied outlets and different sources that we accumulated this info from. I don't know. I mean, 100 some lists was super helpful. I mean, I'm sure there's more to go into there, but
sure.
Yeah, having this amount, that's a very strong representation of a very, wide net, diverse opinions, people who are very active in this community. And of course it's not even all of them, not even close, but
no. And it is interesting because, the lists from last year to this year, they're not wildly different. There were some surprises. We're going to go through the characters and see how they moved. Some of them moved up, some of them moved down. As we compare it to last year, we'll see what happens. So it wasn't anything like, some site that really loved, like Darth Talon got more votes this year, but she did not actually make the list. Maybe people are looking through the making of episode 7 and wanting to get her in the line. I do not know.
Yeah.
There's a million reasons for everything, and we'll get into all of them right now.
For sure. So last year, the ultimate winner of March Madness was Bo-Katan Kryze. What was she ranked as number one? Was she also the number one seed?
She was going into it. She got the highest number of points last year.
Okay, excellent. So you saw other characters that around that time, like Dark Troopers, Boba Fett rearmored, all that stuff. That was kind of making the list because that was very fresh at the time of when we were doing the 2021 top 25 submissions, where Mando finished in December of 2020. So how many that were on last year's bracket have been since released or announced in some capacity as coming to the line?
So I would say about 14 characters from that list have been officially made. We can kind of go over why that's a little bit
Okay.
14, 15-ish. So can I just run them down real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
So-
And before you do, though, I just
Yeah,
want to go ahead and say this is not us claiming any responsibility. There's no "you're welcome" here.
Right.
Yeah, this is just totally, and we stressed this before. Tyler said it on the previous episode of the pod. I've said it before in public. We've all said it. It's just to kind of see where the general collecting priorities are and how that lines up, and comparing them to things that were made. It's Hasbro and the fan communities, their priorities kind of overlapping, and that's always nice to see.
Yes. And yeah, because none of these all would have been in development last year anyway, or most of them anyway. Some of them are out by now. Some of them are on my desk. Some of them are on my pre-order list. Some are in the pipeline still. But
yeah.
So from top to bottom, it was, since last year, we've got number 1, Bo-Katan Kryze, number 2, Boba Fett Morak, number 3, Ahsoka Tano Corvus, just hitting Australia, very exciting. Number 6, Bib Fortuna, number 7, Fennec Shand, number 16, Lobot, number 18, Antok Merrick, number 29, the Clone Trooper of the 332nd Battalion, the Ahsoka Loyalist, number 30, which was the Death Watch Mandalorian, which we actually combined the votes for the Clone Wars and Mandalorian versions, and Hasbro very nicely is making both of them this year.
Nice.
Number 32, the Purge Trooper. This one's kind of on the bubble. Number 33, Miggs Mayfeld, because his Morak version is coming, but most of the votes last year were for his prison transport look. So, spoiler alert, he's on the bracket again in that look. But so the last 4 were number 42, Koska Reeves, who also would have been on this list because the submission started before she was announced. We'll get into that. Number 51, Mandalorian Super Commando. Number 58, Captain Rex. We at least got a Bad Batch version. Maybe it's not 100% the Clone Wars version we want, but whatever. And then number 61, the Mythrol. So that's a pretty good chunk of last year's list, coming soon.
And a lot of them are high up there too.
Yeah.
Like 3 of the top 4 are, made. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see how that kind of affected what moved up and what kind of stayed in the same place and on this year's list. So yeah.
Nice.
So since the last March Madness last year, we've gotten season 1 of the Bad Batch, and only 4 secondary Clone Trooper characters from that show, one of which was the aforementioned Captain Rex. So you might see a couple of them on the bracket, not spoiling anything yet. And yeah, as we mentioned, the submission period was running from January 1st through January 31st, which was around when the Book of Boba Fett was airing. It started right before and it ended pretty much right after. So I think there was 5 episodes out by the time the brackets closed. So right before Cad Bane showed up, right before Luke showed up again. But a lot of our lists were submitted earlier in the month, so there wasn't a ton of stuff from Book of Boba Fett on this list. So it would have been interesting to see what happened.
Okay.
What would have happened if we'd done it now? I'm sure that the mods would have been very high.
I think, Tyler revised his top 25 that the mods were his top 4. So, and we of course let Tyler submit 10 different lists.
Yes, obviously. So yeah, just to kind of, that's the landscape, of Star Wars entertainment over the last year. So
nice. And we have so much on the horizon too. I know a couple people preemptively put Obi-Wan Kenobi from his show, even though at the time of the submissions, we hadn't even seen the teaser poster.
Yeah.
Just kind of one of those, like, just want to at least, nothing's a given anymore. It's hard to look at anything as a given. We've had hints that maybe that could happen. That's easily something that's one of the top things that I want, but I didn't put him on my top 25 list since we haven't, actually gotten it yet. We haven't gotten the media yet, or we haven't even really seen a proper close-up look of what his nice little pandemic hoodie costume looks like from the poster. So, but it is one of those where I totally get why someone would put that on that list where, gone are the days of getting the figures months before the movie comes out or the media comes out. So nothing's a given, but I'm sure that that's also a thing that's in the priorities, but it hasn't aired yet. So I'm sure we'll see plenty of Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff on the 2023 March Madness bracket.
Yes. It's interesting seeing some of the stuff on the bracket, as we move away from it. Is it getting less relevant? Or do people still want that stuff that, we said we wanted last year?
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a lot of submissions. I don't know how many unique characters. I haven't added that up yet, but Of the characters that got 100 points or more, there were 222 of those. Actually, within the top 200, we had to disqualify 4 characters. I'll run those down real quick.
Okay.
Migs Mayfeld Morak would have been 199.
Okay.
Axe Woves, also coming from Target, would have been number 147. Episode 2, Anakin Skywalker, would have been 135. So none of those would have actually made the bracket this year. But Coscar Reeves was listed at number 47, and she has since been revealed and put up for pre-order as a Target exclusive, which is awesome to see.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I won't say how many new characters there are this year, but yeah. Shall we start?
You know what? No time like the present. Let's do
my
this.
God.
What are the top 64 characters that are going to be present on the 2022 SWTVC March Madness bracket?
Whew. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
This is where I would edit in like applause and like cheers and like a little music sting.
Drum
But I'm also
rolls.
probably just not going to do that. So it's just us laughing at each other.
I'll start. Let's start with number 65, who did not make the bracket. But in case anybody is announced in the next little bit, maybe they'll get bumped up. I don't know exactly how we'll handle that.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But number 65 was Sice Noodles. You just missed out, Cy. Better luck next time.
Wait, which version though? Some people specified.
They
I'm
did
just
some,
kidding.
some degree of people specify the 1983 version, but it's not that different.
Yeah.
All right. So number 64 onto the actual bracket. A character debut from the Book of Boba Fett, the Tusken Chieftain.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Nice.
So-
I saw a lot of votes for that while I was tallying it up. Yeah. Okay. That's exciting. I like that.
Yeah. Not the highest Book of Boba Fett figure we'll see, but there wasn't a ton.
Okay.
But
I can think of 3. I can think of 3 for
Okay.
sure that I wouldn't be surprised to see on these top 64s. I'm not going to say what they are, but when they come around, I'm sure they will. I'll make sure to
Yes.
make a little ding noise
Okay. All right.
with my mouth. No
Yes.
audio editing. Again, I don't do any of that.
Number 63 was a character who was on the list last year at number 44, so they dropped a little bit, but it's Finn from The Rise of Skywalker.
What?
Still nice to see him on the list. I will
Oh,
say
Okay.
his BFF Poe did not make the list this year.
Okay.
He was number 60 last year. He would have been number 86 this year. So womp
Okay.
womp. So we got Finn, but Poe had to go. Sorry.
I like that. I'm shocked by that. I'm honestly legit shocked. One,
Yeah.
by a sequel character, and 2, Finn made the bracket. That's awesome. I like
Yes.
that. I would love to see him.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Because we got the Galaxy of Adventures version, which, a figure that's in a different scale and a
For
completely
everyone.
different style. Yeah.
Yeah. Balance
Doesn't-
the scale.
Doesn't quite fit in any real collection, but that's okay. It's a nice
Nope.
figure. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. I do like it. Yeah, I don't need to talk about it, but I do kind of like those 5-inch figures for what they are. But
Yes.
I'm glad they're not still going. So,
Yes.
or maybe they
So-
are. They've never said anything officially. So
They just kind of pop up every now and then. Somehow Galaxy of Adventures returned. But
and that's where we're gonna get Palpatine, isn't it?
yes. Oh my God. Wouldn't that be some 5-inch Galaxy of Adventures Sith Eternal Palpatine? Wow.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can feel the salt. I can hear the cries of
Yes.
anguish. All right.
All right, number 62, another new character debut this year who did not crack the top 100 last year is Fosek from Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Very interesting character choice here. You will see the original trilogy has some surprises this year, Jabba's Palace in particular, and this was before we got the announcement of the Boba Fett / Jabba the Hutt's palace. So I think the time is ripe for some more Jabba's Palace characters.
Yeah.
So Fosek is not the last one you will see on this list today. Number 61, another new character this time, who was number 99 last year, so did not make the bracket, is the Snow Trooper from The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
I'm sure Tyler will be
Yes.
thrilled to hear about that one. We got
Yeah.
one in the vintage 30th anniversary collection in 2007, which has been repacked a bunch of times since then. It's not a terrible figure, but it's really not up to today's standards. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would love, especially since we're getting, some more world building pieces. We've talked about it before. It'd be great to see with, an ion cannon or, one of the big things like an E-Web. So
Yeah, we have a new E-Web, so
Yeah.
they can get them out a couple ways. I'll buy a bunch of them.
yeah. me
I
too.
have a lot of the last version, so because they repacked it in Saga Legends and stuff, and it's
I have 0 of that one.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
oh wow, I'm sorry.
The life of someone who, stopped collecting and
Yes.
thought, I'm done with this. Smash cut 15 years later. You
Just when you
fool.
thought you were out. Yeah. Now you have to get all of them. All of them. Speaking of which, what does that tell
Ooh,
you?
good
Number 60.
segue.
Yes. Number 60 is Greef Karga from season 1, who rose a little bit. He was number 63 last year. Of course, we got his season 2 look, which is a great figure about this time a year ago. A little earlier, maybe. And Black Series has the season 1 look, rumored to get the season 2 look. So now that we have the Navarro Cantina playset, we really need, that was his base. That was Greef's base of operations for most of the first season.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to get him in there.
I hope that, that Black Series will maybe have both versions. Was he pipelined or rumored? I can't remember.
Just rumored so far.
Okay. Well, if they do end up getting him.
Was he pipelined?
I think he might have been.
He might have been.
We do a lot of homework here, guys. We really know what we're talking about. No, I hope that, if the precedent can be set, I know the season 1 version didn't sell well. I don't know why they're getting another Greef Karga in 6-inch or whatever, but that they were willing to make 2 unique versions for 1 scale. I hope that maybe that can translate to, maybe they'll trade them. Do-si-do. We got the season 2. They got the season 1. When they get season 2, we'll get season 1. I hope something like that.
That seems to be happening a little bit, like the Morak bros are kind of, one came to 1 scale first, one came to the other. They kind of both end up getting them.
Yeah.
I do think season 1 Greef Karga could use a couple parts from the season 2 version. Maybe, I think some of his arms, some of his leg parts. I'm not 100% sure, but it'd be awesome to see. Number 59, another new character this year who did not crack the top 100, another Jabba's Palace character who also appeared in Book of Boba Fett. It's your friend and mine, Max Rebo.
Ooh.
Everyone's favorite blue elephant.
Oh, yeah.
Keyboard player with, and of course we got him in the Kenner line and in the Power of the Force 2 line, and he had 4 limbs, and now we have seen that he should only have 2 limbs, which is very strange. It's kind of Sebulba-esque. He's walking on his hands, or he's playing piano with his feet. We're not really sure what's going on there, but we love him all the same.
That's a tough life for a pianist.
Yeah. So along the same lines, another Jabba's Palace character who was number 102 last year, number 58 this year, and original 96 character, Amana Man.
Okay.
Amana Man, the Amani Warrior man, who, yes, so we got, again, he's in the Kenner line. He's in original 96, finished the 96, of course. We got him in the Power of the Jedi line about 21 years ago as a deluxe.
What I have displayed.
Still. Yeah. It's not a bad figure. The articulation is dated. What do we really need him to do? They made an Amani Warrior in 2009-ish, I believe, in a comic pack.
Okay.
So that's, if they are going to finish the 96, we do need him. So it's nice to see that. I will make a point on that. I know that especially Jedi Temple Archives does a similar sort of finish the 96 coverage every so often. So a lot of the finish the 96 characters got a big boost from there this year.
Makes sense.
Yes. Speaking of which, number 57 is the Biker Scout.
Yeah.
Who was dropping 1 place from number 56 last year.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yes.
Cool.
And I did include the votes for the Remnant version because some people specified those, but a new version of one would, create a new version of the other.
Yeah,
so,
like with the Stormtrooper.
Yeah. So let's get them both. Let's repaint that easy.
Yeah. High mileage sculpts. We say it a lot.
Yes,
and
yes.
By we, I mean I say it a lot until it'll stick. So.
Yeah, Mile High Grounds, high mileage sculpts.
Woo!
Because we did just get the Jedi Fallen Order Scout Trooper last year, which was just the 2013 figure, which is really the 2006 figure with some new parts. So again, I don't hate it. It would be nice to get an all new one though, and a speeder bike, of course.
Yeah, I like that. I like that version that we just got. Again, I like it more than some people tend to. More than the consensus seems to indicate. But
yes,
yeah, I enjoy it. I got a few of them. I've had fun with them.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I wouldn't say no to a new one.
No, me neither.
So number 56, who was number 46 last year, is Han Solo from The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Another sequel character. And he is actually coming in the Black Series as an archive figure later this year with his correct gray hair.
Yeah. And the photo reel will make a difference too, for sure.
It will, yeah. So 3.75 got a 5 POA version. In the Force Awakens line, he was one of the later characters. And we got his Starkiller base coat as a Walmart exclusive Black Series. That is not the version we're talking about being repacked or anything.
Not at
Everybody
all.
wants, we want the, you might think it's the same jacket, but it's a new jacket in his Takodana / Starkiller Base / Dakar /
the entire movie except for that
Yes.
5-second scene
yes.
that we actually got the figure of.
Yes.
Cool.
And he also wore this same outfit as a spirit with the next character in episode 9, who is number 55, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Ooh.
He dropped down a bit. He was number 26 last year, but he's still hanging on.
Okay.
So yeah, no, you're a big bin.
I am.
Head.
He was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm at, okay, so I'm surprised, but I have some mixed feelings about what this might mean about one of my other picks. But we'll find out. Don't tell me.
We'll see.
No, I absolutely think though that if they're going to do any, Rise of Skywalker figures, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, even though my personal top choice would be like Leia, Ben Solo, the Emperor, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is like the absolute, like they absolutely at some point have to get him out there. We have Rey. She currently has nothing to do on our shelves,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm glad to see that.
Stab and or kiss, sadly.
Exactly. And be maybe related to in a weird way. So.
Oh God. But it would be an awesome figure with the red cracks in his helmet. Hopefully we would get a nice photoreal Adam Driver portrait, which I don't think we have in either scale.
We don't. I think the closest is the Starkiller Base one from a convention exclusive was with the centerpiece Rey. And then was that photoreal or was that just a new paint deco with the scar?
If you hate Black Series, close your ears, but it's somewhere near me. But I think it was sort of pre-photoreal, but sort of like better paint. And there was a Walmart Black Series version that also had better paint, or was that the Walmart version?
Yeah.
With part of the throne room.
Yeah,
it was like pre-photoreal, but they were trying. But yeah, one of the main characters of the saga. We got his episode 7 look in 3.75-inch Black Series, repacked into the classic first wave of vintage collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, another crack at this guy.
That's one that I absolutely think they would have to. I wouldn't want them to leverage parts from that 2015 figure. It wouldn't be accurate. I mean, maybe they could use the boots, but I'd want rocker ankles. He's a character that really needs that dynamic posing.
Yeah, he had the hips without like a cut thigh.
He's hard to pose. Those figures that didn't have that thigh cut are a little difficult to pose.
Yeah. So number 54. Was number 50 last year and did very well in the bracket, is the Jedi Temple Guard from the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Which, made a big impression in season 5. Hasn't really appeared in Rebels in a different costume with less soft goods bits, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
But
I saw some folks specified the Rebels version over the Clone Wars version, but for all intents and purposes, they're the same.
Yeah, generally, yeah. I think one could lead to the other. I haven't compared them directly, but artistic license and stuff. But they have the awesome double-bladed yellow lightsaber, which I'm holding off from buying from the Disney parks.
I have it. It's amazing.
Is it awesome? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they released one that was just one blade at first, right? But what makes this character so cool is a double-bladed yellow lightsaber, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. The only time we got that was the 5 POA version, which I don't have, and I'm not about to pay a couple $100 for a 5 POA figure. So.
God, is that what it? Because even at the time, it was like $20. That's what I got it for, like 20 or 25 at a convention or something like that.
Yeah.
Not long after it came out, and even that was like, oh man, that's too much. Too much for a figure like this. But
I hate myself that I saw it at a Kohl's. In 2014, I think.
Oh God.
And I didn't get it because I was like, Kohl's prices are expensive and that's 5 POA. It doesn't look that great. It's fine. Dude, God. I probably then went to Toys R Us right after that and saw some other things that would have been impressive. Oh, dude, I hate myself.
Yeah. It's always hard to tell what's gonna be popular, what's gonna jump up in price. But yeah, sad. We only have it in the 5 POA. Not that they do a whole lot in the show, but they look awesome, and that's all that matters sometimes.
It's part of the appeal of action figures is you make them do the things that you can, envision them doing in your head. You can build out the scenes, the worlds that you want to see, not necessarily the ones that you just saw. Your imagination is limitless.
What? Not mine. My brain's broken after doing all this math. But
oh my God, yeah.
Number 53 was number 54 last year, and also did very well in the bracket. Another Clone Wars character. It's Savage Opress.
Okay. Okay.
who, he really punched above his weight class, I think you'd say. I don't know. Last year, maybe because he has the metal arm at some point. But he would make for an awesome vintage collection figure. There's a few Clone Wars versions of him with and without his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never got one from season 5 with his cybernetic arm, his mod arm, I guess you could call it now. But
Yeah, that would look great alongside Mandalore Maul. Those
for sure.
two together would be. I can already see it in my head. I kind of now regret not having him on my list, but that would be amazing.
It would be awesome, yeah, because some of these things, we get a new playset or another figure or a group of figures, and then it might kind of bring the figure up in people's rankings or keep it fresh in their mind. So, Number 52 is a new character on the bracket, is a new character to Star Wars in general. It's Omega from the Bad Batch.
Nice. Okay.
Omega. So, So the Bad Batch did quite well, I will say, on the list. The Black Series is getting her now. She's kind of starting to hit stores.
The Black Series has completed the Bad Batch.
Yes.
They've got both versions of Crosshair and all the core characters, plus the tertiary ones. So
it's Omega and I believe Echo are coming out right now.
Mm-hmm.
They just went up for pre-order and they're also hitting stores. So stings a little bit not to have them. And the Galaxy, what's it called? The Mission Fleet ones are kind of peg warming.
Yeah, they've got blown out clearance wise at all the stores near me. They no longer are at the stores. I think they end up getting marked down to like $7 for the whole pack.
Oh God,
So.
I bought them at full price. Sad to say, but just because I want them so much.
Yeah.
They're awesome characters, and not the last you'll be hearing from the Bad Batch today. Let's just say that.
All right.
I will say an Omega could have a lot of awesome accessories. Her light bow, the little ruby pet that she has in the Black Series. Maybe. I know I'm not big on alternate heads, but she has alternate haircuts throughout the season. So swappable versions, swappable releases, multi packs or something.
I like the options. I wouldn't mind having some more alternate heads. I know they don't look great on the card, but maybe let's start bringing back stickers, call out stickers to put on the bubbles. Like you did with Mandalorian VC 177. It was. I'd love to see the character debut sticker come back.
All right. So number 51, someone on my list, another wacky character who was number 75 last year, just missed the bracket. It's Frog Lady.
Oh yeah,
Frog Lady has made the bracket, folks. Get excited! I'm very happy about this one this year.
That is awesome.
Who, just like I was saying, now that we have the Razor Crest, now that we have the awesome Maldo Kreese spiders and Mando and Grogu set, you need Frog Lady to complete the scene.
Yeah.
And as I said in my episode, her everything from her name to just her weird design to her story, which kind of pulls your heartstrings. It's like, when did I think I was going to get emotional about a freaking frog lady? And yet that's part of the magic of Star Wars. So really excited to see her this year.
And all the versions of Grogu that we now have in the vintage collection are going to need some eggs to eat.
Yes.
So. It's another way they could repack another Grogu and put an alternate hand on it. Or that's a way they could just repaint the version that they have with the arm that they have with the crest version instead of the ball. Like it's an egg.
Yeah.
So. Look at that. We're saving you money, Hasbro.
Yes, come on. And her backpack would look so cool with the eggs in there. They could do some stuff. I don't even know.
I would love that.
Some sort of water effect or something.
Yeah. I if it came to the card, I don't know if I would. Personally, I would love to see the name pill say the passenger, or maybe they can give her an official name. But I mean, Frog Lady. That's so Kenner. I would love that.
Right next to Walrus Man, Squid Head, all those guys.
Yeah.
Love it. Number 50. Number 52 last year is Saw Gerrera from Rogue One.
Okay.
He's also appeared, of course, in Clone Wars and Bad Batch and Rebels, but this is
the Black Series.
Yes.
Coming soon.
He's pipelined for Black Series, correct?
Yes, he's pipelined. Yes.
For some reason, the pipeline of Black Series doesn't always stick in my mind as...
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. But... Yeah, so because we got a 5 POA figure of him also. It was in the Rogue One home entertainment pack.
Yeah.
With the 2 tubes and a tank commander and a Jyn Erso figure.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not, the sculpt it was there, but the paint was really too simple for all his doodads on his chest. So he would be an amazing figure in vintage collection. And as we're building out the Rogue One line, we got Antok Merrick this year, as we said. We really need Saw Gerrera. We got to save the rebellion, save the dream, save the vintage collection. All right, we're into the 40s now.
Oof.
Number 49 is a new addition to the bracket this year. He was number 79 on the lists last year. Ow, my hand hurts, because it's Tame Drin Garen, the guy who shoots Luke's hand. So, it's kind of an obscure character, an obscure Jabba's Palace human, which we don't have a lot of those or any of those. He interacts with Luke. That's the reason why Luke wears a glove, wears that sassy glove for the rest of his life.
The rest of his life.
Yes, until he decides to just take the skin off of his hand and go commando for a little bit. But it's another character that would go great on the barge, which, maybe in the Jabba's Palace set, like we said, coming up. Not the most visually interesting character, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely, there was a ton of Jabba's Palace characters that were included in people's lists as I was going through it. So I'm curious to see which other ones, because we've already gotten a couple and we're only, 20 figures in. On one hand, it's like, there's more to Star Wars in the first 30 minutes of Return of the Jedi, but there's so much that these characters can build out there. Again, the Boba Fett playset really kind of gives the throne room playset, I'm sorry, gives a whole new renewed focus on them being able to justify making these more blankety mystic characters to populate that thing.
Yeah, and the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi next year, so hopefully some of these are already in the works. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Nice.
But yeah, between the skiffs and the sail barge and the last palace and this palace, and a lot of ways to justify these Jabba's Palace characters.
Yeah.
So number 48 was number 39 last year. Again, another Clone Wars character that did very well in the bracket last year is Pre Vizsla, the first character that Jon Favreau voiced, and the character that introduced the Darksaber to the lore.
Yeah,
because George Lucas didn't want a vibroblade, so he said, it's a Darksaber. Figure something out. Now it's a major component that now it's a household name for Star Wars fans.
You mean that Star Wars isn't always intricately mapped out and planned?
Say what? George had all of it written out 40 years ago. Yeah. Totally wasn't making up everything as he went along every single time.
Yeah. How does fiction work?
Yes. But so for Pre Vizsla, he has two looks in the Clone Wars. We got his first one as an animated figure over a decade ago in the animated Clone Wars line. I would really love to see his second one. It's a little more battle hardened. He's got some more antennas and whatnot on his armor. It's when in the episodes that first introduced Bo-Katan in season 4, and again another character that would look great with Mandalore Maul, because he was so instrumental in Maul's takeover of Mandalore. Because if Maul didn't cut his head off, he wouldn't have ascended to the throne. So yeah,
spoilers for like 10 years ago.
Yes. Number 47 was number 27 last year. He dropped a little bit. It's C110p Chopper from Rebels. So maybe you will see a few more Rebels characters. They did very well last year. We still don't have a single Rebels figure in Vintage Collection. Yeah, what though?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and I'll probably mention it again when we get if we get to more Rebels characters on the list. It's the show has been over for a while now. The show started in 2014, but there's still a huge demand for them to be present in the Vintage Collection. Obviously. And so it's like, kind of going back to what you talked about before we started the list, where, as we get farther away from the release of certain media, do certain characters become irrelevant or less desired? Rebels have been a consistent ask this whole time. So I'm still I am honestly quite confused why we haven't gotten any in the Vintage Collection, but whatever. I'm sure I'll mention that again.
Well, it's a good point because, they all, spoiler alert, they all did pretty well on this list. And we got Disney Parks did a really nice Chopper 4 or 5 years ago with all the bells and whistles really that you could need, but he's not in the Vintage Collection proper.
Thank you again for hooking me up with that figure.
Yes. Isn't it great? Isn't it awesome?
It's so good.
Now it's coming in all kinds of different flavors from the mystery crates and the change color thing. We'll see what we can do about those ones.
Yeah.
At least he's not a theme park hotel exclusive yet. That's a whole nother headache though.
Oh,
that's another topic for another time, but
elusive exclusives.
Yes. But yeah, so Chopper did make an appearance this year on the Antioch Merrick's X-Wing box, which is just the 5 POA line Chopper from 2014, which was repacked in 2015. Haven't seen him from Hasbro since then. But the Black Series has gotten the entire Ghost crew. They got them all repainted. Yeah, last year. And yeah, vintage. We're still waiting. So I don't know. Are we waiting for the live action debut of these characters? Because it seems like, now that Ahsoka came through, it seems like Sabine might be coming in according to, casting reports.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. So I don't know. We want them, so get them to us. Speaking of Rebels, number 46 is the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, buddy.
Number 40 last year. Not the last Inquisitor you'll see on this list. Another little spoil, a little breadcrumb, as Hasbro calls it for you.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, we got a 5 POA figure years ago. I know they did a 12-inch figure. Some people mentioned his awesome helmets that he wore for like 10 seconds one time, but it was as a TIE pilot, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
I have his TIE fighter on my shelf right there. Love it.
That was one of our first looks at Rebels, was through the Grand Inquisitor, the reveal of him as a character, way back in the day. I remember instantly being sold on that character. I was like, I need to see this. So imagine my dismay when the only available figure of him was a 5 POA version, where it's like, that does no justice to that character.
For this awesome, scary character with a double-bladed lightsaber who gets into multiple battles with the main characters of the show, who reports to Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, might be introducing Inquisitors again to a wider audience again, hopefully that will bode well for some of the Inquisitors characters. We'll see. All right, number 45. Are you ready?
Yeah.
He was number 31 last year. It's your boy Ben Solo.
Yes.
In his Exegol good boy sweater. He's returned to the light, but his fashion sense is still as dark as ever.
Hey, man, I'm okay with it.
Yes.
As evidenced by the Obi-Wan Kenobi poster, I like my boring Bens. I like the good boy sweaters. Yes. Yeah, Ben Solo, my number one. I know that's a ridiculous choice. I did not expect him to be even this high. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, it's exciting. Again, another chance at an Adam Driver photoreal head, which would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Important to the end of the Skywalker saga. I don't know, we're past the spoiler window. I don't know why we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. The last blood Skywalker, arguably the, next to Rey, the main character of that trilogy. His character arc is the backbone of that. That's one of those that, even though it's not a terribly exciting look, and the movie may not get people super excited, that's one of those characters that's just like, come on, man. It's just, it just makes sense. As long as he doesn't exist in our collection in some form, it's always going to be incomplete. At least for me, I would love to see them get to this figure. I have so many thoughts. I'm not going to rant about it. I just super happy to see him where he is. While I was counting votes, I alluded to it earlier. Kylo Ren, his Kylo look from that movie actually was receiving fewer votes than the Ben Solo vote.
Mm-hmm.
So I am surprised that stuck the whole way through.
Yeah, so we have 2 of that character from this film, which is exciting to see.
Love that.
His Last Jedi look ranked lower, but it got quite a few votes. And if they did. Does he wear the same pants and the same boots from Kylo to Ben? So there's some tooling showing we can do.
Figure.
Yeah. He had time to take off his shirt, but his pants were the same. I feel that.
Well, because his big puffy padded vest had a big old hole in it, and it wasn't as cozy as the little sweater. And he was free from this pain. Maybe there was some kind of pain stuff in that little puffy jacket that he had over his sweater.
Yeah, it could have been like the Keira Knightley corset from Pirates of the Caribbean all those years ago. You like pain? Try. I don't know where I'm going with this. But
we're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. We got there's a long way to go still.
All right. I'll stop you.
We have a long ride ahead of us. We love Ben Solo. Go listen to Evan's episode if you want to hear more about Ben Solo.
Bring me Ben Solo.
He was on my list too, so I'm very excited to see him again.
Yes.
Number 44, someone who was kind of on my list, was number 93 last year, but has since risen in profile quite a bit, is Crosshair in his Bad Batch version. So his Imperial version would have ranked it at number 66. So I did not combine those two because they're distinct enough characters and they did well enough on their own.
Yeah.
I think one would lead to the other. Absolutely. As it did in the Black Series. I still, once they do them, I would prefer a little bit more effort because he doesn't need the same giant shoulder pad and that sort of thing. Yeah, the second Bad Batch character on this list today is Crosshair. So yeah, some of his votes were split between the versions. Yeah.
And now we also have, we didn't have it at the time of voting, but we do have the Bad Batch clones, the Captain Rex, Ballast Gray and special ops or elite forces. Is that what they are?
Special Elite Squad.
Elite squad. Love the Bad Batch. I'm really good at knowing these things.
Yeah.
No, but like now that we have that in hand, it's like we waited so long for them. We have them in hand, and it's like, oh, these are awesome. It would be so much cooler if we had the main characters for them to go
Yeah.
with. So I hope they're not terribly far behind, especially since the show is still going, so they're still relevant. I mean, season 2's got to be on the horizon. So,
Yeah. We don't know. So everybody's holding everything so close to their vest. We don't really know.
too many secrets.
Yes, it's a little annoying, but
Yeah.
hopefully Crosshair makes it into the line sooner rather than later. All right, next up, another Jabba's Palace character who also made another appearance, sort of, kind of, in the Book of Boba Fett. Coming in at number 43 is EV-99.
Yeah.
And that character was number 62 last year. I hear some people refer to it as a female, but it was voiced by Richard Marquand in Return of the Jedi. The bartender version was voiced by Mark Hamill. Whoever did the voice this past year when they reappeared in the kitchen in Book of Boba Fett, I think it was a different droid, but it's very similar. It had the exact same voice. Whoever was doing that, whoever was modulating it, great work on that. Yeah, was very excited to hear that very unique voice. So I haven't gotten that figure since 1998 or 97-ish in the Power of the Force 2 line.
That was one that I remember seeing at KB Toys quite often. And,
Yeah.
you know, I want to transport myself back to my 8-year-old self and be like, you know what, grab a couple of those.
Has it gone up in price since?
No, I don't think it has. It's not that it's terribly hard to find. It's just one of those. I very fondly recall that droid out of all of them. Like, not a whole lot of droid names stick for me. I'm really
Sure.
bad with that. But EV-99 is one that absolutely has always stuck with me since I was a kid. Maybe it's because it's got half of my first name in it. So.
Oh, of course. You're also big on Yvonne Verlaine.
Yep.
And Darth Revan, maybe.
Exactly. I like characters
Yes.
with a dumb name.
It's a gorgeous name.
Very strong, very Welsh.
Yes, but it's this character is also a finished the 96 character. He, she, whatever pronoun you want to use for this unliving being.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting. Let's get them in the line.
Yeah.
So number 42 was new to the bracket this year. It's Kira from Solo. So most people specified her Kessel look. Some people wanted Vandor. Those are basically the same. It's the same jacket. In one she has pants, and one she has the skirt.
Yeah.
You could do a few different looks with this. You could have the sort of shawl over it that she wears outside on Vandor. You could have that awesome cape. I think that's what most people are wanting. I did a card mock-up of it. It just looks so cool when she's walking down the Falcon on Kessel. Yeah, I need that cape. She was ranked number 70 last year, so she just missed the bracket. She has risen in profile again recently because she just reappeared in the Marvel Comics in the War of the Bounty Hunters arc. There's a lot of speculation whether or not she would appear in Book of Boba Fett. Spoiler alert, she did not. Even though Boba Fett was basically acting like a Daenerys Targaryen the entire time, riding dragons and overseeing, feudal
Like a
disputes
bantha.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. She's another one I had on my list. And again, that's another one that, yeah, she just came back through the comics. But as we are moving farther away from the release of Solo, which was 5 years ago already? Oh my God.
4 years ago? Yeah.
4 years ago? Yeah. She's still on people's want list. So it is nice
Yeah.
to see that even as we move on and Hasbro seems to forget things and, Disney seems to change their priorities, the fan priorities are fairly consistent on certain things where it's like,
Yes.
yeah, that is cool. We like that. Please make that.
Yes, and they set her up for more appearances, and
Mhm.
hopefully we get more than just the comics, as cool as they are. Whether it's an animated series, a live action series, whatever. She's off busy doing her Marvel thing right now. Good for her. But we want more Kira.
Yeah.
And we got a couple 5 POA. Black Series got a version of her, but not her. We did get a 5 POA of her Kessel look, but
We did.
did not get in the home entertainment pack, but did not get that awesome cape, and have no version of her on a vintage card. So let's make it happen.
Please.
Number 41, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we have a version of him coming, but not his original look. And he fell a little bit from number 33 last year, but it's Miggs Mayfeld in his Mandalorian Season 1 prison transport outfit. Very similar to the Ben Solo look, just kind of an all-black ensemble that he picked up at the Space Mall. the Darth Maul, if you will, of course.
I hate it. Yeah, these characters that don't even necessarily have the most visually interesting, looks, they're interesting enough characters where it's like, yeah, that's their predominant look. We like the character. Let's do it. So,
Yeah.
And it could lead them to have more generic pieces to use for other things too in the future.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that awesome blaster that comes off of his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So as cool as the tank driver look is, yeah, we still want the season 1 one as well.
Yeah. And they got the head sculpt.
Yeah. There you
Jinx.
go. Okay. So number 40 is new to the list and did not crack the top 100 last year. Another Jabba's Palace character. It's Shasa Teal, the Ishitib character.
Okay.
From Jabba's Palace. So we got the Rebel Ishitib, which I did not know is still unnamed, back in the Power of the Force line in 1998 with that beautiful freeze frame that doesn't even barely show the character at all. Anyway, you can actually see, I'm not looking at it now, the figure's back there, but on the Jabba's Palace Luke figure, the Jedi Knight Luke, you can see Shasa Teal on the card. And she was airbrushed out of the 1983 version, but has made an appearance on the newer version.
Maybe it's a breadcrumb.
Yes, yeah. She's coming back. I think it's a she, excuse me. Sorry, Shasa.
The Book of Ishitib, or the Book of Shasa Teal.
the sheet of Shasa Teal, yeah.
The sheet the Google Doc of Shasa Teal. Yeah. And then we can get Shasa Teal's throne room once they take over.
Yes.
After Boba leaves.
Might have done it before. So she was on the sail barge as well, I guess. So, yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything because we thought Max Rebo was on the sail barge too.
So, I mean, and Bib Fortuna. So she could have escaped and, gotten to the palace right before Bib Fortuna got back and sat on the throne for a minute. We don't know. There's plenty of storytelling opportunity there.
Somehow, Shasa Teal returned.
Yeah. This is the first time you're hearing the name Shasa Teal. You're probably not alone. Number 39 is new to the list also, was number 71 last year. Has recently appeared in the Black Series, is Q90 from The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Another prison transport character, who also kind of appeared in the Maldo Kreese episode where Frog Lady used Zero's remains to translate her ululations. Her ululations, yes, is that the word?
Undulation?
Undulations, I think it's her ululations and her undulations and her guttural utterances to
I'm not using this English degree that I
got. But yeah, so he didn't have Pelimato with him to translate, so he had Zero, which, yeah, so that character was also available in the Black Series in the past year. So yeah, it'd be great to see him in Vintage Collection. And he pilots the freaking Razor Crest. That's the big one. Just
thinking. Now that we have that in hand, we got that after the voting closed too. Where yeah, that's amazing. And also, I would buy multiples because I would have a second one to take apart and put in the netting in the Razor Crest.
Yeah, for sure. So it's another high mileage, I guess, for the same figure.
Man, you just really hated saying that, didn't you?
I was realizing it's not, if you buy more of the same figure, that's not really a high mileage. I don't know how it works. I don't know. We haven't worked out the specifics yet.
True. Droid sculpts, though, are usually a safe bet that they can reuse parts. So I'm
not sure. I haven't checked. Does he reuse like anything from 4 LOM, or I think it's fairly unique?
It is fairly unique. But okay. Maybe it's some part of the legs, but whatever. I'm sure they can make up little background joys to put out there.
For sure. And if Hasbro doesn't get to him, hopefully Disney Parks can at some point.
Yep.
Anyway, he's on the list. Vote for him. Number 38, another character that I know you like, was number 35 last year. Also just came to the Black Series for the first time. As Saw Gerrera would say, Bodhi! Rook!
Yes! All right.
Local boy. Yeah.
I want him. I will not subject him to the Boar Gullet. I absolutely need that figure. I did get the Black Series version. I love that character. I love that character so much. I got into it in my top 25. It's one of those characters very important to me. Love Riz Ahmed. I would, if they're going to complete the Rogue One crew, he's inevitable, I hope. I just really want him now. I'm very impatient.
Yes. So hopefully they can, use some of the sculpting files from the Black Series version, because it does look very good.
It's a great looking figure, I have to say.
Yeah. And they did the goggles really nicely. He was a 5POA figure late in the Rogue One line. It's kind of hard to find. He has that big old drum thing on his back with the Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do. I love that figure. He's standing in my Rogue One display, and until the
Yeah.
vintage collection version comes. But yeah, he came out. What was he in the wave with, like Cephala and Thrawn, or was he right before?
It was near that. I think it was the wave with Thrawn and Jyn in her disguise.
That's
Was
right.
Cephala in that? I think Cephala was in
Cephala was after with.
There's Finn Rao. That was like sort of an
Rao.
online exclusive, right?
Yeah, oh man. Okay, I have Finn Rao. I don't have a loose Finn Rao, but whatever. He's 5 POA.
This is now I was going to say this is now the SW5 POA podcast. So get excited. Yes,
I'll cut this part.
But that figure does. If Tyler was here, he'd be saying 5 POA doesn't count. I know he's saying that in his head as he's listening to this right now.
Yeah, I can hear his teeth grinding already.
That is, it's not a bad looking figure, that one. It doesn't have photoreal, but since we're so close to completing the Rogue One crew and vintage collection, Bodhi Rook would be so cool. Yeah. Hopefully, we know he should be on the radar if he's not. Number 37 is a figure who was supposed to be in the vintage collection a couple years ago and did not make the bracket last year. Was going to be number 92. Is new this year. Is Darth Revan.
Makes sense.
I believe the highest ranking Legends character on the bracket.
Oh, that is not surprising, but surprising that that means then that there's probably not going to be more Legends characters.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I mean, other that have not made the jump to canon. So,
well, yeah, and it's like Revan's kind of in that in between area where Hasbro just made his lightsaber in the Force Effects Elite line. It's amazing. I love that. I love that lightsaber. So they just gave him a reissue in the archive line of the Black Series.
Yes, and they repainted him in the Black Series for the Gaming Greats as the Jedi version, which also did very well on the submissions this year. It did okay.
Yeah.
It would have been. Where are we here? Let me actually see.
Well, while you're looking that up, we still don't have a proper Darth Revan. The only version that exists is that 30th anniversary version that is woefully inaccurate and kind of a salt shaker. So, yes. And also, selfishly, I don't have that figure, so it doesn't exist.
Oh man!
So
I found that figure. Yeah, it was in the 30th anniversary collection, same time as Darth Malak. It is not accurate at all. It's based on like fan art, apparently.
How did that happen? Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes they just Google things and they don't get the proper. I don't know. But real quick, the Jedi version was number 168 on this, and I will say this: the second highest Legends character was Dash Rendar. He's a cool guy, so appropriately he was number 69 on the list. Those shoulder pads are really something else. So anyway. You can cut that if you like, but
nah. Ask your parents.
He's a very nice character.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Revan, so he was announced to be, what was it, VC 150?
Yeah, that was VC 150, and then
that was a whole
what led to the whole Leia Cara Dune 164 shuffle.
Because they moved Leia back to be 150, and then they made Cara Dune as the second 164. Very confusing. But yeah, some people claim that Hasbro just forgot about releasing Darth Revan. Other people say it was because of the fan outcry about the outdated sculpt, inaccurate sculpt. We don't know. Either way, it'd be great to get a new one. A very popular Legends character. I think he's been referenced in some
in the Rise of
Skywalker visual dictionary. Was that the deal?
Like the Sith fleet, where they called out
sure,
a bunch of different, some of the legions or groups were named after old ancient Sith lords. So
yes. A point about the Legends stuff, real quick. A lot of the video game characters did okay. That people play as. Obviously, they identify with those characters. You go on their journey. So it's, characters like Kyle Katarn and they did well.
Kyle Katarn and
Kyle Katarn Dash Rendar. Kyle Katarn and Kyle Katarn and the other Kyle Katarn. But I forgot Rendar and Revan. There was we'll get into Legends characters in a bit, but
Okay.
So number 36. Last year was number 37, so his fortunes are rising.
Nice.
Another solo character, Dryden Boss.
Cool.
I'm sure Lewis will be happy about that one.
Yes, he was low down on my top 25 list, but again, I want all of these characters. I want all 60. Yes. I want all 400. I want all of them.
I want every character. I want every character in the vintage collection. It's, let's just say that. Let's just throw that on the table.
Yeah.
But Dryden Boss especially, he was also on mine. He's number 13 on mine, right smack dab in the middle. He has not been made in the 3.75-inch line at all. He did not get a figure in the solo Force Link line.
He was allegedly supposed to, and then
he showed up on some rumor lists. We know he was recast after Lord and Miller were let go. It was supposed to be the late, great Michael K. Williams doing the role. We know he was completely redesigned and reshot with the awesome Paul Bettany. So I don't know if that pushed the development of stuff a little bit later. His Black Series figure came about almost a year after the movie was released. Here we are again, 4 years later, don't have any Dryden Boss in the 3.75-inch line. Yeah. And yet he did appear in Clone Wars for a split second.
Yes, as a
in season 7. As a repurposed animation model as a hologram. So yes.
Nice.
Let's get him out. All right, number 35, another new character to the list this year, was number 88 last year. It's Tech from the Bad Batch.
Tick.
All
right.
So yeah, another one. All our comments about the Bad Batch apply to every character pretty much. But
yeah, not much more to add here. It's again, we want the Bad Batch.
We want the Bad Batch.
we want the main characters, Hasbro. We don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess my point about Legends, I'll just say it now, because there's so many characters in some of these things that it's hard for anybody to agree on a consensus.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a million characters listed, but they all have like 10 points or whatever, because nobody can like come together on a character other than Revan or something like that. But on things like the Bad Batch or Rebels, those characters are going to do super well because we still don't have the main characters, the main crew from those shows in Vintage Collection. So it would be really nice to get them in Vintage Collection, pretty please. And when you make Tech, you got to do his goggles better than they did in Black Series because he just does not have them on the Black Series figure.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but whatever. Number 34, yet again, a new character on the list, did not crack the top 100 last year. Another Jabba's Palace character who has made quite the impression in Book of Boba Fett. It's 8D8.
Mm-hmm. Voiced by Matt Berry.
The great Matt Berry. Yes. Go watch Toast of London, even though they took it off Netflix, but it's a great show.
Yeah. Or What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. Or Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
I haven't seen that.
You got to watch it. It's on Amazon now. It was that was one of his first shows, and the guy who plays Dean Lerner, Richard Ayoade, also plays Q90. A lot of great comedians. That was where I was first acquainted with them.
Nice.
So go. This is now a podcast about that.
Yeah, we keep pivoting. It's going to be great.
Yes,
we're going to pivot, and eventually we'll get back to Vintage Collection when we.
Well, one of the many fun things about The Mandalorian is all the great comedians that they bring in for cameos or small bit roles. And Matt Berry I'm a huge fan of Matt Berry, and all his work, and he has great music. Go check it out. But so it was really fun to hear him voicing 8D8 this past year, and much like
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, much like EV99, we have not had one since the late 90s in the Power of the Force line. And it's another finished 96 character. So, yeah.
You mentioned the comedians, and it's like I can't help but go back and think about Bill Burr as Migs Mayfeld. It's like, you go back to 2016, 2017, and, Bill Burr's very public thoughts about Star Wars as an IP.
Yeah.
Did you ever foresee like, oh, cool, I'll be adding a Bill Burr action figure to my collection later this year, and I'm asking for another one.
Yeah. In all his outfits, for God's sake, because he's a recurring character in some of the best episodes of Star Wars.
Oh, man, I love it.
TV. But so number 33 again, it's another Bad Batch character who was number 104 last year after the Clone Wars appearance, but it's Echo.
Okay.
We have other Echoes, the ARC Trooper version recently came out. That's Bad Batch adjacent, as you would call it. But Black Series just got him. Mission Fleet has him, so something's missing. And it's Vintage Collection. Come on, Hasbro. Number 32. Last year was number 22. But it's a Rebels character this time, Garazeb Aurelios, a.k.a. Zeb.
Okay.
Again, same thing applies. Much like Bodhi, he was the last member created for the team in Black Series. He has a 5 POA figure. He has all the Rebels characters. They got new animation models and new outfits after Season 2, so going into Season 3. We combined them all this year because some people would specify one or the other, or most of them were unspecified.
And some people like me just honestly can't figure it out.
So I'll take either look. I would really love the Season 3 and 4 looks of most of the Rebels characters, but
I think that's where I'm leaning as well.
At this point, beggars cannot, in fact, be choosers. So, yeah. Number 31. We're halfway there, so wake up.
All right. Should I split this into 2 episodes? No. If you're listening to this, you're in for the long haul.
Yes. I'll start to be a little more brief, since a lot of these I forget about it. I was going to go into a long, immediately after I said I'll be brief, I launched into a long thing about how I won't be brief. So there you go.
I've been interrupting you constantly. It's been like, oh yeah,
No,
this is my thoughts on it.
I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear them all. But number 31 was number 21 last year. Another Rise of Skywalker character, Emperor Palpatine, in his Sith Eternal or Restored look.
Nice.
Where after he sucks up the Force dyad and regrows his fingernails and gets some new crimson accents for his ensemble.
The power of two restores the one.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, the other one also did pretty well on here. The Undead Zombie Crane version would have been number 107, splitting them up. As Tyler always says, how do we not have the main villain of the final Skywalker saga? The main villain of the entire Skywalker saga just got his great Return of the Jedi version. Mm-hmm. Even though it's using old parts, I'm sure they could leverage some of that into a Rise of Skywalker version. I really would not be mad about it.
I want a 3-pack with the Revenge of the Sith off-stool version, and then a repack the Return of the Jedi version with maybe some other, different head sculpt or something to make him different, and Rise of Skywalker version. I would love a 3-pack of those.
While you're bringing up the office duel version from Revenge of the Sith was number 82.
Oh,
that
cool.
Did pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite Palpatine look, but
yeah. And the one we have is not great. But we don't have any version of his Rise of Skywalker appearance.
Nope.
Okay, number 30. Actually, kind of a surprise to me, who was number 91 last year. It's Han Solo from A New Hope. How was he not on the bracket last year?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
man.
He jumped way up. So last year was only his Force Awakens look, right? So,
yeah. Okay. Cool. I like that. Yeah, we need that real bad.
Yes. So, yeah, the last all-new, super articulated Han from A New Hope was in 2004. And we are still getting his legs repacked as of this past year on that lovely indoor Han that we all know and really hate at this point.
And we've discussed before too that it kind of seems like the tooling for that seems to be degrading at this point, where the belt part's falling apart on brand new figures. It's like, come on, guys,
you can do better than this.
Yeah, it's 2022. We've had pandemics and maybe a world war. Let's please get a new Han Solo.
Can at least have a Han Solo before I die.
Yeah, God.
In the next. Might need to fast track it anyway. But so we've gotten a few 5 POA versions and stuff. And yeah, the Black Series got one in 2013 that they're still cranking out with photoreal.
Yeah, they just cranked it out again last fall on a Power of the Force card.
Yeah. We did get the 2017 for the 40th anniversary. The only one we got in 3.75 was the titanium version.
Didn't collect those.
Yes. They're right behind me, so I see them all the time. All right, number 29. She was number 34 last year. It's Asajj Ventress.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Unspecified in her main Clone Wars look. There were some other votes that I did not fold in here for her other looks. Her Bounty Hunter look was my particular favorite. Again, going to keep repeating this. Black Series got one within the past year.
Yeah, looks great.
It looks great. We have older versions. We have animated versions. We have the comic versions. Don't have her main Clone Wars version in a realistic figure.
Yeah, I mean,
3.75
for such an important character. Again, main villain. We've talked about this. We've done, where are all the villains in the vintage collection? Where we're just really hurting on villains. There's so many villains on this list. It'd be interesting to break that down at some point.
Yeah. There's so many breakdowns we can do. I did what I could.
Yeah, we've got a year's worth of information to deal with.
Yes. So you can buckle up for a longer episode. But
oh God.
All right, number 28 was number 24 last year and did super well in the bracket. It's Pong Krell, the general from Umbara. Clone Wars figure. We know Tim from Bosk's Bounty does not like him, but a lot of people seem to.
Sucks to suck, Tim.
Yeah. This would be an awesome giant figure with 4 arms, 2 double-bladed lightsabers. Made a huge impression. The Umbara arc is one of my favorite arcs of Clone Wars. His clones did fairly well. Again, it's hard for people to agree on clone characters, but it'd be awesome to get some of his 501st characters along with him.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 27, another Bad Batch character who's new, would have been number 74 last year. It's Rekka, the big little brother of the group. Just don't put him on the top shelf because he's going to be afraid of heights. It's very sad.
Oh,
but yeah. Again, Black Series just got him. Mission Fleet has him.
So many of these. Yeah, Black Series just got him. I have the what is it? The Has No Talent 5 POI Kenner style
Oh yeah,
version. It's the only one of his Bad Batch figures that I picked up. Just budgetarily, I can only get a few here and there. Um,
sure.
I think Wrecker is maybe my personal least favorite of the Bad Batch crew, but
Least favorite
yeah,
as a character, just because
yeah.
he's so goofy. Yeah,
yeah, probably.
that's fair. That's
But I
fair.
I still really enjoy him, and I think the possibilities of a figure of him, like again, Tyler, personally, I'm sorry. I have the Black Series version. Listeners, again, I'm sorry. I have the Black Series version. But I will happily get rid of it once I have a TVC version. So.
Yes, and I'll go up to bat for Wrecker. I like Wrecker. He's he's on the same mental level as Omega, which is nice to see.
I thought you were going to say he's on the same mental level as me.
So, yeah, well, some days I am very tall, so sometimes I hit my head. Oh, yeah, and sometimes I feel like my Order 66 chip is gonna go haywire. But yeah. So number 26, another Bad Batch character / Clone Wars character / Book of Boba Fett character, who was number 28 last year. It's Cad Bane. Tatooine belongs to the Syndicate, but Cad Bane does not belong to the Vintage Collection yet.
Nope. But again, Black Series has got one, and they're getting a second. So
yes. So we folded his looks into this because he didn't get that many for his Bad Batch look. His Book of Boba Fett version appeared sort of right as this was closing, or there were rumors and whatnot. But and any Cad Bane would be any of these animated figures would be a realistic interpretation. Now that we have an actual literal live action version of Cad Bane from Book of Boba Fett, hopefully he's got to be coming after that, I hope.
One would hope.
Yes. So again, we have some great Clone Wars versions of him, including one that's fairly realistic looking. It was the second, I think the second or third. I think there's 3 Cad Banes in the Clone Wars line, and they're repacked. One had a speeder bike, one had Toto 360. The Toto 360 one was nicely articulated. So it's not that we don't have him on various shelves, but we don't have him on the Vintage Collection.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the one that matters.
Would the bubble need to be wider for that beautiful hat?
Make it as wide as possible.
Yeah. We got to see it.
Yeah, give him one of the Maldo Crease size cards to include the hat and have the hat on the rollout, on the film out.
Yes. So number 25.
Oh, we're in the top 25 now.
Top 25.
All right,
and
buckle up.
This character was number 25 last year. Carlo, I hope you are listening. It's the second Sister Inquisitor.
Yep. That makes sense. That tracks.
Was she on your list? She was on a lot of our lists. She's not on my list. Sorry.
As we're going through these, I've been making little check marks of ones that were on my top 25 list. I'm not going to reveal how many yet.
Cool.
But I think I've been paying attention.
Yeah, a very memorable character. And a similar looking character was in concept art for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Again, early concept art can change 1,000 different ways before we actually see it. But hopefully maybe that version will come out and then we can get a second sister based on some of that. I don't know. Or, tragically, she seemed to perish at the end of the video game. Spoilers for a game from 3 years ago. But so I assume she would not be in any sequels, but she made a big impression on some of us more than others, Carlo in particular.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, awesome character, awesome design. Could be used for the seventh sister, maybe, from Rebels.
Yeah, we need Inquisitors. Well. We need Inquisitors.
Yes. We're so inquisitive about Inquisitors, we need them.
Boo.
I'm sorry. Here's one that might be up your alley a little bit more. Number 24 was number 59 last year. It's been Obi-Wan Kenobi from A New Hope.
Yep. That is absolutely. He was my number 2, I think.
Nice.
Love that. Yeah, New Hope seems to have done maybe well for itself this year, just based on what I was counting. And yeah, we need an all new one. We've talked about it before. The 2009 one, it's fine. It's fine, but I would love an all new one.
It was a great 2009 figure.
It is. It is.
But now that we have the new show coming out, does it open the door for more Obi-Wans? Hopefully we don't have to wait till the 50th anniversary in 5 years or 6 years. When is that? 7 years? What year is it? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, and maybe they can put them on a Rebels card and just be like, "See, we put a Rebels figure in TVC," and I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks, but cool."
Yeah, so because we did get the A New Hope, the Core 4 characters in the VOTC in 2004, the first characters on a vintage card. Haven't got him in TVC proper though, so Obi-Wan rose quite a bit. Another original trilogy character rose a little bit. This year he's 23. Last year he was 38. It's Admiral Piet. So he received a promotion, much as he did in the film itself. And Admiral Ozzel didn't even have to die again this time to make it happen.
Nice.
But,
hey, real quick with Obi-Wan, I just started backtrack.
Yes.
I think he was the only original trilogy character I had on my top 25 list. And I don't regret that because obviously the original trilogy is very represented where we talked about that on our lists.
Yes.
Of, the things maybe, the weirder things or the things that have a lesser chance of being able to throw some points at that.
Sure.
Because the original trilogy are
thinking.
a slam dunk. So.
Yes. And it seems like Obi-Wan would have been a slam dunk, but not sure why it's taken so long.
This would have been the year to release him. So.
Yeah. We still don't know what's coming out for much of the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. I think everything that's been announced so far is for the second half of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think my GameStop pre-orders just shifted for the Ahsoka wave. It's like, oh, cool. It's in Australia. And my pre-order was supposed to be March. Now it is October.
Wow. So going back to Admiral Piet, who's above Obi-Wan, we always talk about wanting a new Imperial officer. He, I believe, ranked the highest. A lot of others ranked okay. Veers. Oh, actually, why did I say that? There'll be another one coming up. I think you can probably guess who that is.
Okay.
But
cut that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we need a new Imperial officer. Admiral Piet has not been updated since 1998, which is insane. Again, got him in the Black Series a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's nice to see him on the list.
It's another high mileage sculpt too, where you can do a ton of Imperial officers. So one opens the door for many.
They're very polite that way. They open the door for each other. I'm sorry, that was bad. Cut that out. Don't even keep that in there. All right.
No, man, keeping it all in. Cutting nothing.
Number 22 is new. Let's just say it's Chrysantan.
Okay.
Sometimes known as Black Chrysantan, if you want to.
BK, Santi, all these
Santo,
things.
yeah.
Santo, yeah. Technically, Black Series hasn't gotten him. I won't count whatever they just did.
Yeah, the Black Series got him in the comic version, which was just Chewbacca with a new head.
I'm sorry. I have to say that whole justification, it's the comic version. No, that is not an excuse. I'm sorry. That's not, no. What? What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's some of the reuse. They have to be creative with what they do. And, the comic figures probably aren't going to get a huge amount of new tooling, but be creative with that. Then don't make a character like that. Yeah. That needs the new tooling that is in the storytelling is burlier than Chewie.
Has always, just since his inception, since he came about, has always been illustrated as such. That's why my bewilderment is not necessarily at Hasbro about the figure. It's like the people justifying it's based on the comic version. It's like, no, it's not. So
it's not based on anything. But so this character appeared, that sort of as the polling was going on he appeared in the live action for the first time. Mm-hmm. He's been in the comics since 2015. As part of the, Dr. Aphra's crew, sort of. He worked with Boba Fett before. He's kind of come in and out of the various comics. Would make an awesome figure. He would make a terrible figure if they decided to use the 2004 Chewbacca body on him.
I would rather not have him at all than have that. So
I would cry openly if that happened.
Yeah, I would.
You don't want to hear that. You don't want to see that.
We do an entire episode of just us crying.
Yes.
So,
how could you do this?
Yeah.
But if they do a new, larger Chrysantan body, they could then use it for Tarful, who also did pretty well in these lists, or a generic Wookiee warrior from Episode 3, or Clone Wars, or Solo, or any of these things. It's a high mileage sculpt, you might even say.
It is, and also it ties into relevant media too, not only because of Book of Boba Fett, but canonically he gets his little eye scar from Obi-Wan.
That is true. Even their fight is on the cover of the Black Series figures packaging. So I believe he is the highest ranked Book of Boba character this year. Not technically not. I keep making these promises that are not true, but
it's okay. We're doing this long haul, man. People they'll forget by the time we get to it.
Hope you're exercising that pause button, folks. But number 21 was number 53 last year. Again, another example of OT characters doing very well. Tessek, Squidhead.
Cool.
Jabba's Palace hasn't been in the line since 2001. Power of the Jedi. A good figure for the time, but he's a finished 96 figure. Let's get him on that card. Beautiful boy. And then we can use the squid head for some Corins from the Mandalorian, maybe. For some more relevant stuff. We'll see. Number 20, this is personally exciting to me because he was my number one choice. He was number 43 last year. Sweet, sweet Simaloo.
Oh, Simaloo. Sweet Simaloo.
The Imperial Dignitary, the only completely, totally unupdated figure from the Kenner trilogy lines. Yeah, very exciting.
That's one that I really think would, even though it's such a, I mean, it's from the movies, but it is a deep cut sort of thing.
He's so obscure in the movies.
He's so obscure, but it's one of those that's one that the second Hasbro even announces it, or there's a whisper of it existing, people are going to be very happy.
Yeah.
Like, even the most like, I hate everything fans will be like, yeah, okay, I'll pick up a Simaloo. So
who doesn't want the world's oldest man in a purple robe with a giant hat? He's a very goofy figure. He is not the most action-packed figure ever.
Yeah.
But to just celebrate the heritage, the history of the line, we got to have Simaloo.
Maybe make him a convention exclusive or something, because maybe he won't perform super well at retail, or a fan channel on that one, but whatever.
Yeah. You fill him out with part of the Emperor's throne room, some of the tulip consoles or something.
And we've learned you can get away with quite a bit with, soft goods. You can, reuse whatever you want under it, and it still is an accurate figure.
Lando's legs, both young and slightly less young. I was going to say old. We don't have the old version.
Yep.
But they're getting quite a workout, so I think they'd be fine on Simaloo. Put him next to the Palpatine and the throne room set, and glorious. I need it to happen. All right, so number 19 was number 17 last year. As Maul would call him, Ezra Bridger. So yes, I just love the way he says that.
Yeah.
But again, there's a couple versions of him. Don't have any of them in TVC. Is he coming to live action? We don't know. Is Mina Masood going to play him? We don't know. Is Hasbro ever going to make the damn figure? We don't know. So again, everything we said about every Rebels character applies here. So
always in motion, the future is. So
yes. Number 18 was number 47 since last year, but there has been a petition surrounding these characters. It's the Tonica Sisters.
Ooh, time for Tonica.
That's hashtag time for Tonica, guys.
Shout out to Victoria's Cantina and the Vintage Collection podcast. Yep, these are ones that she's been pushing for a lot, and What
can we say about it that hasn't been said already? Probably nothing. So listen to those conversations about them. We want them. Clearly, a lot of people want them. We did combine them. Some people voted for them together. Some people voted separately. So we averaged them out and decided to keep it as one this time. Sorry, we didn't specify that up front. To anybody that feels cheated by missing out on a slot, but hopefully you'll survive.
Also, plenty of us wasted slots on our top 25s.
Yeah.
So, I think it all comes out in the wash.
My entire thing was wasted, but that's all right.
I'm curious to know how many of yours ended up on this list. But...
Quite a few, actually, but
okay.
Yeah, okay. We'll see.
Is Klieg on the list?
Klieg is not near as Klieg, hate to say. Let me see, actually, while we're on the subject. Klieg.
Sorry for all the derailments, by the way. I'm just having a lot of fun with this.
It's good. He would have been number 146.
Oh, okay.
So he's not that low. There's dozens of us, as the saying goes. But 17 was someone who was on my list, my number 2 on my list. I believe he was number 2. Yes, but he is number 17 overall. Was number 73 last year. It's Hunter, the leader of the Bad Batch, and the highest ranked new Bad Batch character this year.
Nice. So the Bad Batch really all jumped up quite a bit. Obviously, there was some demand for them appearing in the Clone Wars Season 7. Their looks weren't new. Again, this is what kind of perplexes me too, where we've known what the Bad Batch have looked like since 2017.
Well, they put that reel out, 2015, I think.
2015, yeah. So, I'm surprised. They had, it wasn't a secret. It wasn't like, Force Awakens Luke. It wasn't like Grogu. That excuse does not fly. So.
Yeah, because even if they started developing them, the second that their Clone Wars episodes appeared, they would have been at least probably been able to put them up for pre-order when their actual show came out a year later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They had a lot of time.
They had a lot of time
to get ahead of that, and they did for the Black Series.
They did for the Black Series. That's, as we said, they got the entire squad in the Black Series now in multiple appearances for some of them.
Yep, Hunter and Crosshair came out actually right before the show aired. So lucky Black Series.
Yes. But I think some parts reuse could happen with some of these. I don't know, sharing, I guess. But we need Hunter. We need the entire Bad Batch. The fact that all 6 of the Bad Batch made it on the list should tell you something. People want them. I really, really want them in Vintage Collection. We know that in the Q&A they mentioned that there's, I think there's hope. There's a future potentially.
Rebellions are built on hope.
Yes, let's see. Let's see what we got here.
Bad batches are built on hope.
Hopefully, maybe by season 3 of the show, we'll have a pipeline announcement for some of them. I don't know.
For their season 1 look.
Yeah, I'm keeping my hopes real low here.
Oh, boy.
But number 16, someone that some people have been waiting for nearly 40 years, was number 57 on the list last year. He had a huge jump this year. Had another petition this year. Folks, you got to hashtag vote for Velkin. It's Velkin Taziri at number 16.
You're welcome, John Miko.
Yes. So his profile, again, as I keep saying this, has risen considerably. After we did the bracket last year,
yes,
Miko did the Vote for Velkin petition, which kind of maybe raised awareness for some folks who don't recognize his character. But also, this is a testament to the Bantha Skull and the JTA lists being added, I think, as their audiences
skew more original trilogy.
They skew. Yeah, I was going to say skew older, but that's not.
Be more diplomatic.
We don't know. They skew original trilogy. They skew old school. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Again, this is the last character needed to complete the prisoner skiff, which we're so close after we got the driver, Vidane, a couple years ago. We're so close. We're on the verge of greatness. We're this close. Again, we don't know if there's rights issues with the faces of the characters, or if they signed releases, or if they have the releases, or if the other guys that wear this exact same costume, Nizuk Beck and Weeba in the palace, if they're going to say, wait a minute, I didn't sign my release, even though the guy that played him on the skiff did. There's so many questions about this. Steve Evans recently on one of his Instagram stories as a follow-up to his interview with Miko said sort of, I think he said, I plead the fifth when somebody asked about Velkin, or he kind of did like the face like, I don't know. Yeah. So that could mean 1,000 things. I don't know.
That could mean you're crazy or he's coming tomorrow. So.
Yeah, or there's a reason we haven't done him yet. We really don't know. His guns, his exposed arms were just too manly, too awesome to include in the vintage collection. We don't know.
Yeah.
They're doing photoreal for his arm hair.
Oh, love it. I want that.
They're going back and forth on his dad bod physique and in that yellow padded outfit. It's a figure. He was on my list this year. He was on my list last year. It's really, again, not the most exciting character, not the most action-packed character, one of the most obscure characters, but he is important to completing that scene.
Yeah.
Complete the crew, teams and themes. And he also kind of sort of appeared in Visions, technically. So there's one for you.
Yeah, okay.
A character wearing that outfit showed up with Boba Fett in one of the episodes. So
I love how I'm the face of Visions on our team.
Well,
it's like, yeah, I liked it. And you guys are like, you idiot.
No. It was good. It was good. But you were the only, I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 people that voted for Visions figures in the entire thing.
And that's totally
You were self-included.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's just the facts, sir.
Yeah, I know. It's totally fine. Like I said, it's very low down on my priority. I've explained it all many times. But so
Velkin could be a Visions figure.
You put him out on a Visions card if you gotta. I'm sure that would really upset some people.
I would love the comment sections.
Oh, God. So. I would probably just delete my Instagram so I didn't have to read any of that.
Oh, that'd be fun. So, all right, number 15, he just barely missed last year. He was going to be number 67 last year. Not Kleeg, but the client.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
All right. That's it. Scuttle the episode. We're doing this again.
We're going to start over. All right, number 64 is
you awful.
the client.
Boo, weird.
Oh my God. So
love it.
I could keep the trend going and say, I would like to see the client.
Yes.
Because we have, again, as we keep saying, we just got him in Black Series. And now that we have the Navarro Cantina, much like Grief Karga, another figure who is essential to completing that scene is the client. And who doesn't want a Werner Herzog action figure in every conceivable possible scale?
Yeah, you're crazy if you don't.
You're nuts. Yeah.
And I think, the playset really helped boost that character's profile.
Yeah, for sure.
For TVC collectors, where it's, teams and themes, we like building out these things that, we like product that complements. So
we want to world build, you might even say.
Who knew?
So yes, got to get him in there. Number 14 was number 15 last year, so he raised a little bit. It's Cobb Vanth.
I hear there's some folks out there that like him. So
yes, we've seen some posts about it. He's an awesome. He was not on mine. I figured he would do quite well. Really want him again. just repeat this thing every time we say it, but Black Series has him. He just reappeared in Book of Boba Fett, and now he will probably have a new look next time we see him, whenever that is, if he's coming in back in Rangers of the New Republic, if that's still happening, or Book of Boba Season 2, if that's happening, or Mando Season 3, we don't know.
Yeah.
But this, again, because this all kind of concluded before he returned in Book of Boba Fett, I think it's safe to assume most people would prefer his appearance from Mando Season 2, where he's wearing Boba's armor.
Yeah.
Or, of course, as Vance Armory, our friend on Instagram, and the preeminent Cobb Vanth fan.
Yeah.
We're not entirely sure that he didn't just make 1,000 accounts to vote for Cobb Vanth over and over again. And more power to him if he did. But
yep, that is dedication.
Yes. But as he has posted about, we could do a version in the plain red shirt in the basic line, and a version with the Boba armor with all that deco. That sweet, expensive, incredibly expensive deco.
Mm-hmm.
As a deluxe figure, maybe. I don't know. Use photoreal for the silver stuff. Please, I'm begging you. There's got to be a way to work it out. But people want him. There's multiple things they can do with him. Yeah, he's awesome.
Love him.
Were you going to say something else?
No.
Sorry. There you go. All right, we're getting down to the wire. Number 13. Let's complete the crew. He was number 23 last year. It's Baze Malbus.
Woo!
So he raced quite a bit. As we recently heard, Patrick has been pushing for him to be in TVC. So let's push a little harder, Pat.
Yep.
We need Baze Malbus in the line, along with Bodhi Rook, to complete the Rogue One characters. Complete the Rogue One team. Perhaps there's a couple other Rogue One characters. I love these breadcrumbs. It's so fun to do breadcrumbs for once.
Yeah.
Because I have all the cards this time.
Yeah, I don't know anything here, really. It's great. I didn't have Baze on my top 25 list, but because I had Bodhi at, number 3 on my list. But again, it's one of those, like, it's implied that because I want that, I also want to complete that crew. So
yeah, it was safe to assume that he would do quite well.
Yeah.
Because we got Chirrut about a year and a half ago, a little less than that. And
excellent figure. Excellent figure.
Amazing figure. And they hyped him up as, completing the crew, and still waiting on his best bud Baze. Again, Black Series just got photoreal repaints of all those characters. So yeah, vintage needs them.
Yes.
Number 12 was number 19 last year. Sabine Wren of the Rebels crew. Again, I think there's rumors that she's coming up in live action, perhaps in the Ahsoka show. So maybe we'll have to wait for that. We don't know. Talk about a freaking high mileage sculpt, for God's sake. She changed her appearance constantly in Rebels. At least every season she would have a major makeover. Sometimes she would add a jetpack, or she would add, gauntlets or whatever. So that's,
different hair color. Yeah.
Yeah. So the hair color is the easy part, just do that. Just make a new one every 6 months. Just crank them out. Target exclusive. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's all planned out. She could I don't know if she could reuse parts from Bo-Katan or, I don't know, but I'm sure some, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot they could do with that. It's another one of those that I maybe they are waiting for the live action thing. That's the only thing that makes sense at this point. So
yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to justify it somehow, because we got two versions of her we got a version of her in the Rebels line and a version in the Rogue One line from her first 2 appearances in the show. So I didn't get her awesome Darksaber appearance from season 3.
I was going to say another awesome character that wields the Darksaber. There's now several.
Yeah.
So
yes, the training scene with her and Kanan was some of my favorite stuff from Rebels. Sort of a callback to it in Book of Boba. But anyway, number 11 was number 20 last year. You've seen some of his species around lately. Not as nice as this guy. This is Moma Nadon, Hammerhead. Another finished the 96 character. Another OT character. He jumped up 9 spots, so not a huge jump. A little more scrupulous than Makshaiz.
Yep, Mayor
as far as we know. Yeah, Mayor Makshaiz.
I think he was on my list last year. I left him off, but it's another one that I had the utmost confidence in the community to rally around that one. So that's another one that I absolutely would just be stunned in such a good way. Like, not like surprised. I would just be like, yes, finally, when they get around to it. Yeah,
according to our finished the 96 coverage, ones that have never been on a vintage card, he's one of 2, the other one being Zutmore, the correct Snaggletooth update from the vintage line, but the Zutton figure is kind of tiding us over, but now we need Moma Nadon.
Yep. Zoom in on Zutton and also give us a Hammerhead.
hone in on Hammerhead.
You're quick.
Yes.
You are a quick little man. You've got voice like audible
like that.
chocolate and great little catchy phrases.
Oh my God. Why, thank you. Number 10 was number 12 last year. It's Harrah Syndulla, fan favorite. Did not include her appearances from Bad Batch or Squadrons, but some people included those as well. And again, her character model update in season 3 was not as drastic as some of the others, but fan favorite character. She's awesome. She's great. Still love to see her pop up in new stories. Will she pop up in the live action? We don't know, but she's awesome in Rebels. So yeah, who should she be with? She's got to be with her number one, her boo, number 9, Kanan Jairus.
Yes,
who was also number 9 last year.
Kanan Jairus, Jedi Knight.
Kanan Jairus, Jedi Knight.
Love it.
So
Love it.
I believe, yes, I can't make any promises that he was the highest ranked Rebels character, but he's the highest ranked member of the Ghost Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Who else could be above him? We don't know.
Ooh.
But
Tyler, any thoughts?
Tyler. So yes, again, he has the awesome mask that he wears in season 3 and 4 after he's blinded by Maul, it's a whole new outfit. Some people specified that they wanted that. I think most people that specified that they wanted that. I think any of them would make us all happy.
Yeah.
For all the Ghost Crew, get all the versions out there. I'm sure you can share parts between them.
Yes, please.
Between their early and later appearances. And it would be awesome because we don't have their later appearances in any form. I think Gentle Giant has made them as busts or something, but that doesn't count.
I was just thinking about it. I want a Malachor playset. I want that so bad.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And I want all the characters that go with it. I want it.
You could have the lovely elevator that Maul and that they all ride and stuff.
Yeah.
And, Final Duel. Oh my God, a carded battle damage Vader to go with it.
Oh my God. Okay, I would probably weep. Good tears, happy tears. Here's what I'm picturing for Vintage Collection. When they get around to Inquisitors and all that stuff, sorry to derail. I'm just looking at my top 25. Kanan and the Grand Inquisitor are next to each other. I hope they articulate the lightsabers so they can spin. So.
Oh my God. Yes. This episode's only...
Yeah, I'll pay extra for that. I'll pay $26.49 for that.
Hell yeah. Yes. Okay, so we're in the top 10. Another Lost Jedi. Number 8, it's Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order. He was number 11 last year, so he rose a little bit. Again, rumors that Jedi Fallen Order is getting a sequel. Hopefully, maybe he'll be involved. We don't know. We really want the second sister, so you got to have Cal to go with him.
Yep, Black Series got him twice.
Yes. Again.
Mile
high grounds, high mileage sculpts.
Yep.
But
hashtag balance the scales.
Because in the game, he, you can collect multiple skins and multiple ponchos and different designs for BD1, who also just made his live action appearance in Book of Boba Fett, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people specified with Cal Kestis they want BD1 along with him. Of course, you got to have him as part of that package.
It would be incomplete if he didn't come with him.
Yes. This character, sorry Tyler, who was number 4 last year, he's number 7 this year, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Where is he? At number 7.
Yeah, where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? He's right here.
Perfect though for the 7th Fleet.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that's why people did it that way. They all coordinated.
Also, I'm impressed with myself for having that little.
Yes, that was amazing. That was great. I did not make that connection.
Boom.
My hat is off to you.
Yes, between the two of us, we can do things.
Yes.
We can make greatness.
So again, we are he's got to be showing up at some point. Is he going to be the Thanos, the big bad of all these series? We don't know. But we have an animated figure of him. We have a Black Series figure of him. We have the 2 expanded universe figures of him. The last one was from 2008 or 9 in a comic pack. But we don't have him in Vintage Collection. It'd be a realistic interpretation. Again, would they wait for the live action version? My guess is yes at this point, but everybody wants him in his classic white outfit with, the gold accents, however you want to do him. We need him. He's awesome.
Cornerstone of, the Star Wars mythos, be it expanded universe or canon at this point. So,
all right. Number 6 was number 10 last year. It's Paz Vizsla. The heavy infantry Mandalorian.
You know what? I think some of these characters are getting a Darksaber effect, where by wielding the Darksaber, you move up the rankings. So.
Well, again, because he was already incredibly popular before even showing on these lists, before even showing up again in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But now that he has that whole scene, which was awesome, again, kind of bringing him back to our minds after his season 1 appearance. He's just so cool. Black Series again has got him. They got him in Credit Collection. They got him in Carbonized. We don't need to go that far in Vintage Collection. We just need his. But I'll let you repaint him 100 times if you want to, as long as we get him in Vintage Collection, please.
Absolutely.
Yes, I believe he was on my list as well because, as I said, we're getting so many Season 1 figures like Mythrol and Queel and IG-11 lately that are just so incredible and so much better than their Black Series counterparts.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to see what they could do with Paz. All right, top 5. Here we go. Some surprises in here. This guy was number 13 last year, and he's number 5 now. It's Director Krennic. I know it's pronounced Director Krennic, but Vader pronounced it Director Krennic. That's why
I always default to Vader's pronunciation of things.
Yes. Otherwise, you'll choke on your pronunciations. Something like that.
I love this episode
because I was gonna say Baze was the highest Rogue One character, but Krennic. So we got to complete the crew, but they are incomplete without their main villain and his glorious flowing white cape, which would have to be beautiful soft goods. I would have to think.
Yeah.
Again, we have a 5 POA version. We have a Black Series version. We do not have a Vintage Collection version after all these years.
Again, it goes with the Rogue One mini beat where it's like, teams and themes complete the crew. But even though Krennic was the bad guy, again, villains, we need more villains in TVC. You can't just have the good guys. You got to have the person they go up against.
Yeah. And so some of these characters, Piet, Thrawn, Krennic are an example, as we've been talking about. A new Imperial officer body that could share parts if you need to do a different torso for a different rank badge or, whatever you got to do. But a lot of them could share parts. Black Series has this figured out. Vintage would be awesome to see them next. So, yeah. Number 4, kind of surprising, who was number 36 last year. It's Luke Skywalker from Tatooine. That
makes sense. When I was tabulating the lists from some of the places, he was the far and away front runner.
I did not believe you when you said that.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, I think Luke's going to be in the top 5. And I was like, he did fairly okay on Instagram. But I think because some of the sites skew more OT, I'll have more to say in just a second. I think
time is a ticking away. So,
yes, well, we got to get these for these. I'm not going to be too macabre about it. I think you can get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So, number 3, I have more to say about number 4, but number 3 was number 14 last year. It's Princess Leia Organa in her A New Hope white gown with the classic bun haircut. Again, both of those and Han and Obi-Wan were all repacked with photoreal in Black Series this year. So they're not afraid of getting these figures out there. But again, they were last released, all 4 of those in 2017 in the Titanium series. They were on vintage cards in 2004, which was a million years ago at this point.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Good God, they could vote.
Yes, they can almost drink very soon.
Yeah, and I don't want to see them reuse a single part from those 2004 versions.
No.
These need to be all new. They need to get the the Lando treatment, the Lobot, we need definitive versions of these with today's technology, the absolute quality that Hasbro is capable of. Oh my God, these would be amazing. They're the figures that really started it all for so many people. This was the beginning of the Star Wars journey for so many people.
Yeah. And you can sell them again in another early bird thing if you want to.
Yeah.
You could
keep repacking them for the next 18 years if you want.
Yeah, repaint them with Kinder colors. You could just keep them in circulation in some form or fashion. Hopefully, again, not waiting till the 50th anniversary. Maybe VC 250 for Luke. I don't know if they're thinking about numbers, as they rarely are, but they might be.
That's only 20 VC numbers away from where we're at.
That's not far. So hopefully he's in the plans, because a lot of people clearly, it would mean a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. The top 2. These were a little bit, where these netted out, it's a little surprising.
Trying to think. I think I know one of them.
Okay. Number 2 is the Dark Trooper from The Mandalorian.
Okay. Yep.
Has just made his Black Series appearance for the first time. We have to imagine
as a
Vintage
pre-order.
Collection as a pre-order, of course, for next year.
Yep.
We have to imagine Vintage Collection is probably not that far behind. They're probably planning this one already. I have to imagine. He was number 5 last year.
He made it to the final 4, right?
Yeah, he made it to the final 4. Yes. Let me actually bring up the bracket. Yeah, it was the final 4 last year was Bo-Katan, Rearmored Boba Fett from Morak, Dark Trooper, and Ahsoka Tano Corvus. So he's the only one of the final 4 from last year that has not been made.
That's amazing.
So naturally, he rose to the top. He was number 5 last year. So I think Thrawn was actually above him last time. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I'm making it up. I don't know. I have 1,000 tabs open a whole lot
That's
of stuff
okay.
I'm looking at.
I'm impressed that you're able to keep all of this
Yes, thank you,
straight.
thank you.
I'm just listening and looking at only 2 tabs, 3 tabs, and my mind is broken.
Oh my God, aren't they all? So, yeah, we assume maybe this might be a deluxe. We don't know because the Black Series 1 is, and who knows? Everybody wants him. We want to army build him. It's whatever you want to call it. Do one with Grogu.
Yep.
Do a battle damage one. We got to get Luke as well. I think the Mandalorian Luke was like number 60 something.
Oh, okay. Did better than I thought.
67, which he was also very close to that last year.
Nice.
So
yeah,
just barely missed both times.
If
Anyway.
anything somehow gets revealed in the next 2 weeks, then he would maybe slide up.
Yeah.
So
be disqualified and get sliced noodles in there.
Yeah. All right, number 1.
Number 1.
I think I know who it is.
I think you might know. He was number 8 last year. It's a he.
Okay, it's a he, and it's a bad guy.
It's a bad guy.
Formerly a good guy.
Formerly a good guy.
Count Dooku.
It's Count Dooku. Come on, guys. It's Count Dooku. It's the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. We're getting his dueling partner, Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting his sort of a duel and conversation partner, Obi-Wan, this year.
And we're getting his former colleague, Mace Windu.
Getting his former colleague, Mace Windu. He taunts him in the arena, of course. We're getting a little bit of Attack of the Clones love this year, but Count Dooku is really the one that we all want, of course.
Glaring omission.
A huge omission. Can't believe we don't have him after all this time. They did a lot of Attack of the Clones figures, especially in 1.0, as we're getting much of that wave repacked now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Peasant Anakin, we don't need to go there again, but
let's not ruin a good time.
But this would be again, obviously it's too late to get him in the line for this year. Maybe they could pipeline him by the end of the year for the 20th anniversary. I don't know. It would be awesome. Mm-hmm. Again, for the 8,000th time this episode, Black Series got an amazing all-new Count Dooku a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the last waves in the
red box.
Phase 3 red box, yeah.
Yeah, he was repacked into the all Attack of the Clones wave, which was mostly like reused tooling for everybody else, with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Mace, or not Mace, Plo Koon and Kit Fisto,
and Battle Droid.
Yeah. So they got a new Count Dooku there. You know, recently on one of the Q&As, I think it was John Miko that brought up, we need a Count Dooku. And one of the Hasbro employees kind of laughed and said, yeah, the last thing we need in the line is more old men. Which was the exact wrong thing to say.
Yep.
Because at the last event for Black Series, they pipelined a repack of Grand Moff Tarkin, a repack of Emperor Palpatine, and they put up the client for order. So it was like, come on, guys. That's ridiculous. But Count Dooku, he transcends old man. He is just awesome. He's the vampire Sith Lord. He fights Anakin. A lot of people wanted a new Episode 3 Anakin as well. He's the main villain of the Clone Wars. He interacts with a lot of other characters that we want, that we have.
Yeah.
It's the 20th anniversary. Let's get out Count Dooku in the line. It's awesome. So I was surprised to see him at number 1. I actually thought the Dark Trooper would outrank him.
I wasn't, based on the votes I was counting. I had a feeling he was going to be up there. Going through this, 4 of my top 25 were not on this list.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Let me count
21 were. That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not get quite the same results to see.
Maybe I have my finger on the pulse.
The Hasbro pulse.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, that was just low-hanging fruit. That's what I love. Okay, so for my list, while I count, I got Simalu, Hunter, Pong, Krell, kind of Crosshair, but the Imperial version was not on. Finn, a different Asajj Ventress, Ben Solo from Exegol, Dryden Boss, Frog Lady, Paz Vizsla, Episode 7 Leia. She's in the list, right? Am I making that up?
You're making that up.
I'm making that up. She's somewhere. She's near there. Velkin and Grief. So 10 of my 25 got on the list.
Haha, I win.
As wacky as you said it was. So yeah, because Resistance-based Leia did not quite make the list.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the ones that I have that didn't make the list. Oh no. Oh my God. Hold on. You know what? I take back everything I just said. That was not the right list.
Oh my God.
I was like, where are the High Republic characters? So I'm wrong. Let me you go ahead. Go ahead and keep talking.
Well, I'll say so. Some of the other characters like Leia Jedi Training was number 73. So we're close on that one. The Bestman Security Guard, who was on my list, he was number 68, so just missed it. Imperial Crosshair was 66. So, it's not quite as nutty as it seems. Even good old Holdo was number 116. So, not that far off.
I wasn't that. Okay. So even though I made
Yeah, all right.
a total boob of myself, 19 of my 21 are on the on the bracket.
Of your 25, yeah.
Or 25.
What a boob.
Yeah. Yep. So it wasn't that far up. I was just like, this list looks weird. Because I was like, I don't remember having Ahsoka Tano on my final list. Yes. Yeah. So, all right.
Yes.
No shocker.
And I think so. After the brackets, we'll be focusing on the top 64 for now. Of course, those will go into the bracket. We will tabulate that. So as we build the bracket, Evan did it last year, but the number 1 seed goes up against the number 64 seed. Yes.
Yes.
Number 2 goes up against 63. Number 3 goes up against 62. It works its way towards the middle in the voting, so they can knock each other out. So we're not going to go over it all now, but like the first one will be Count Dooku versus the Tusken Chieftain. That's interesting.
Okay. All right. I wonder who's going to win.
Yes, but so it'll be interesting because it'll be fun to see how it all shakes out. A lot of stuff from all across the saga. A lot of new stuff like Bad Batch and Rebels. A lot of old stuff like the original trilogy that finished in '96. A lot of stuff in between. A lot of Jabba's Palace this year. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'm excited for this one.
It's a nice spread across the entire saga. You got, plenty of your OT heavy hitters, Clone Wars stuff, Rebels, the Bad Batch, Book of Boba Fett, Mando, of course. A little bit of sequel love in there, some major prequel love coming out. That's awesome. I really like to see that where, it's so easy for Hasbro to look at things and be like, oh, people only want OT and Mando. And it's like, sure, that's probably the biggest priority, but it's a large universe.
Yeah, there's a lot in between. Those are the slices of bread holding it all together, but there's a lot of deliciousness in there.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know if that's a weird metaphor, but
yeah, no, it makes sense. There's,
I like the whole sandwich,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's a great list. I'm really excited to see how this bracket shakes out. I mean, some are obvious. Just wanting to mention too, where you just explained the whole, how the seating works. It's like we didn't purposefully put some of these matchups together to personally torture any of you out there. Like that's just how it shook out. So some will be very difficult. Some are going to be easy ones. Like again, Count Dooku versus the Tusken Chief. There could be an upset, but
we don't know. Yeah. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
There were quite a few upsets last year towards the middle. That's kind of,
yeah.
Well, we're not really sure.
And also you're not voting. And I think we said this at the top. You're not voting to say, I don't want this thing. I think it's safe to say that the majority of us probably want the majority of the things on this bracket. You're voting for what you would want most or want to see first. So.
Yes. Again, I want all of them. I think, so many people voted. We all want all of them, I'm sure. If you don't want some of them, don't buy them, but don't prevent other people from having them is what I'd like to say about that.
Yep.
But so it's exciting. So after we do this, much like last year, we can post comparisons and the top 100 vote getters and everything.
For sure.
Go through that. But for now, bracket is exciting. March Madness has begun.
It has begun. So the day that this episode drops, so the bracket has been posted yesterday, and voting begins Monday, March 7th. So that's when the first round of votes come through. It'll be done in, groupings. So moving through the tournament, it's not all going to happen in one day. We're going to take it a little bit slower than last year. We're still just getting the final details, sorted out on how that's all going to work out. But we want to be able to do this throughout the entire month of March.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of math this weekend, a lot of staring at my screen till 1 a.m.
Yes.
So some of the finer details are still being worked out.
Yep.
But by the time you hear this, I'm sure we'll have more of it done.
There will be, of course, at SWTVC on Instagram, you'll be able to find our posts about it, the bracket itself, on our website, swtvc.net. Yes, we have a website. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, there should be a printable version of the bracket. So at home, you can go ahead and grab that, fill it out yourself. Do that this week before voting begins on the 7th. Be sure to share and tag us on those and, spread the good word. All right. Anything else that you want to talk about, John?
I don't know what else I could even say at this point.
Yeah.
Vote. If you don't vote, you can't complain. That's as we've said before.
Exactly. You can't win if you don't play, all that stuff. So
yes.
Huge thank you to not only all of the fun, all the partners and colleagues that, shared this and that participated in gathering top 25 lists in January. Huge thank you to anyone and everyone who submitted a top 25 list, everybody who came out to support this, and everybody who is, all of you listening to this. I presume if you're listening to this, you are going to be voting in this.
I hope so. Yeah.
So yeah, if you just subjected yourself to 2 hours of a podcast, you can you can vote in a couple minutes. So
yes.
All right. So the main voting will be in the Instagram stories for sure, but we're still working out just the rest of it. But there will be other ways to do it, but limited as best we can. One vote per person.
Yeah. Try to vote only once per thing, so we're not throwing it all off too much. But
Yeah.
So all the Shasatiel heads aren't ganging up on.
Yep, the sheet of Shasatiel. Man, that's going way back to an hour and a half ago. All right. Well,
there you go.
We did it. John, thank you for running through all that, putting all that together, doing all the math there. That is.
Thank you.
Feels good, man. It's hard to believe we're already here. We're already at March.
Oh my God.
It is madness.
I'm looking forward to April. Let's just put it that way. No.
Yes.
As much work as it has already been, it's always fun to do this and to see where everybody's priorities are. I really love it and excited. Let's make Count Dooku keep it going all the way. Let's find out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, our number 1 seed last year did it, so we'll see.
Get on that little speeder and fly all the way to the top.